to say hi and drop a line. Don't be shy. Let's start a conversation here. This morning, because I do have to, I want to feel like I'm not just coming on here and rambling on about stuff. I want to take a look at this mighty monstrosity of a tune. This actually is the song, the Colossus. I created this ridiculous name because of, again, irreverent sense of humor, and the whole idea of having an intellectual battle with an inanimate object, but an inanimate object that's been around for millennia. Because, you know, everybody is aware, the Colossus of Rhodes was built around Alexandria, I believe it was, the legs crossing the harbor to the port, whether it's Rhodes or Alexandria or whatever. Hey man, Amadeus, how's it going? The Colossus of Rhodes was built back in the BC era, and was essentially virtual guardian of the port. You know, the large figure was supposed to be intimidating for those who were going to come in and try to raid the port. And the fact that the Colossus had been around for, you know, the empire of the Pharaohs, for the Roman Empire, for the Greeks, and ever since, you know, all of our human skirmishes that have been going on, would have a distinct view of what's going on in this world today. So I thought I'd, you know, like, it's a big heavy piece. It was originally written really slow. It was going to be like kind of like a really super dirgy kind of Meshuggah type thing meets King Crimson. It's kind of stuff, and it just plodded. It was a little bit too slow, so I sped it up significantly. And then in trying to, you know, find the right musical voices, instrumental voices for the piece, I came to Jimmy Keegan and asked him very nicely if he would participate, and through him this song and another one that is equally menacing called, well, that's menacing the opposite direction, much more menacing. The title of the song is Abaddon. Bring up some interesting quotes, musical quotes. Change them up slightly so I don't upset anybody. All right. Of course, I'm using the wrong batch because it's a little like there's a couple places where it's like where it should be much cleaner. Let's see if this works. Nope. So those, this is the Alex Lifeson chord. F sharp, major, add. So suspend the B and the E, and I think the B on an F sharp would be F sharp is the fourth. No, it's the flatted fifth. Flatted fifth and the seventh, minor seventh. But it's like I think it's officially sort of designated like add 6, add 9. Let's use Google. Alex Lifeson chord. See how close I get to this. F sharp 7 sus 4. So it is the fourth, or flatted fifth. F sharp 7 sus 4. So I pull that out. That was my 13-year-old self heard that chord to start off. One of the one of the first great epic prog tracks that I experienced as a young adult. Bought the Hemispheres album the moment it got released and ran home. And of course, I'd play all my bar chords upside down. Everybody else would be playing them correctly, like this. But since I'm self-taught and I've been playing this way for years, and it does contain some certain advantages to just continue playing the way you've learned something. I somehow managed to pick this up after only like 2 or 3 months of playing guitar on my own, no lessons. Used to go and I used to go and hang out with my friends from school. There was a whole bunch of musical types, and we would just spend Saturday jamming and various things. And so I learned guitar just by going in there and just, at first they'd be begging me not to pick up an instrument because I was so bad, but eventually you watch and you learn. I'd been playing accordion for too long, but 3 years. Taking lessons from the time I was 10 until the time I was 13 when I rebelled and gave up accordion. And my dad vowed he'd never support any musical activity of mine ever again because I'm giving up on the accordion when I had so much promise on the accordion. So the going up to the Nurembergs and spending the afternoon, Albert playing drums, and then when he got tired of playing, he would just leave, and there were others that would come down and to the house, and we just jam all afternoon. And then go upstairs and get introduced to interesting, like they had probably one of the most interesting record collections because it was all stuff that I would never have thought of seeking out myself unless somebody, and until like a few years later when people explicitly were saying, you need to go seek this out. And so the 70s had this, I think maybe it was just because there was amongst all the record executives and the A&R people, there was an extreme quantity of hallucinogenic drugs and psychedelics going around, and so people were putting out albums that were worthy because it was like, hey, somebody will buy this. And I think it was more of an art form at that point than it was a business proposition, until the business people came in and realized, like somebody saw the numbers and said, hey, there's a lot of money to be made here, and became commercialized. So Genesis were my friends from my new high school when we moved, and I ended up going to South Secondary School. Genesis, and I was already into Yes, because my cousins had I'd inherited the Yes album. Fantastic. Again, all this stuff was mind blowing. So this thing starts off with this Rush riff, with this big ass F sharp 7 add 4 chord, and right there, which, you know, for years I'd been playing with this huge amount of distortion, thinking it makes it sound bigger, when it was really just this. The chord was big enough on its own with so much dissonance that didn't need that huge amount of distortion. In fact, I think Alex may have put some chorus on it. That's it. So anyway, I wanted to be able to quote my heroes. So I've changed the timing on this a bit. I think the original was in 10-4, 10-7, or 10-8. Then we get into this heavy riff, and but the very beginning is playing in at 105 beats per minute, and then we get into the heart of this thing, and it speeds up to 132. Now imagine this. It was at, I think I had it originally around 92. So it was, you know. Oh. Gotta throw in the flourishes. It was that slow, and you know, I had originally done it that way and said, nah, it's just way too slow. I put it aside. I think this was written back in, you know, it's a very long time ago. That original. Maybe like maybe 2010, 2011, long time ago. So so I came back to it, listened to it, kept on, you know, banging my head against the wall. Somehow I think the banging was at 132 beats per minute. So I played it 130. I pushed it up to 132 beats per minute. Came back, re-recorded the guitars and the bass. So right now this is me playing bass. In the future it's going to be, I've got Brian Timpey of Seattle, Washington, who's going to be playing bass on this bad boy. Brian and I have been friends for a long time. Brian and I worked together at Microsoft. He is a really great bass player. Brian will be playing bass on this, and he played on the first album. He played on my first album that was called The Sound of Thoughts. And so let's trim this up so it doesn't have the sorry, very, no, milk is great, gives you phlegm. Brian played on a lot of tracks, and the majority of the tracks on the first album on The Sound of Thoughts. He also added a whole bunch of really cool little bits, like during the long song "Lady in a Cage," and maybe we can load that up in a little bit here and bring that out of the and dust it off. Um, he did a whole bunch of really cool stuff, like doing the Chris Squire slides. How's it going, Jorg? Thank you. So he did a bunch of the Chris Squire slides. He did some he was nailing it. So he's going to come in. Jimmy Keegan is freaking fantastic on this track. Let's find some space over here that I can highlight Jimmy's fantastic playing. Let's see. I'm going to let's start right there. So. I'm online. Anyway. Anyway, he's just going ape shit on this. It's amazing. Right. Jimmy did great. So, bottom line is this is pretty much a finished track. I might go back and as you can see, I got a ton of great stems. I think I do use a couple samples. I use a I use a kick and a snare because all the stuff on this album so far, live drums, have been coming from my drummers' homes with our great contagion, our COVID-19. The studio time is probably easy to come by, but nobody wants to. We're social distancing. So so Jimmy did this in his they moved into a new home, and was setting up his basement. I have the privilege of being one of the very first people to have drum tracks from Jimmy's place. So this is fantastic. There's a lot of drums on this, as you can see. We have there's a room mic, there's two overheads, hi-hat. This is normally kind of backwards from what I normally do here for track arrangements, but tom 1, 2, floor tom 1, 2, and 3, which he only uses at one spot right there. And so yeah, everything sounds great. He's done a fantastic job. He also sent me, he told me about, let me see, so let me show you. He told me about this, the Focusrite, the BX console Focusrite SC from Brainworks. It's a channel strip. and it's even though it appears somehow on in the EQ list of my DAW, it's a channel strip, and it has everything. It has compressor, it has gates, it has low pass filter, high pass filters, and mid filters, and some EQ here. Has the high frequency and low frequency shelving, and then you can choose whether it's pre-fader or post-fader. It's just got everything. So when he sent me his tracks to audition, he was getting great tones out of it, especially on the other track, on Abaddon. It just had he used took off the bottom heads off the toms, so it had a much more percussive Phil Collins type attack on it, and then sent me all the settings for each of the toms and everything, and then I went in and tweaked a little bit to taste. But like I said, the very first time I went in and rolled them in and started using my normal VSTs and tried to sort of do my stuff, just could not get the tone that he was getting out of just his, here's the track, tell me what you think, I'll go back and redo it if you don't like it. And he was getting just wicked tones out of the drums. So I said, hey dude, I can't seem to find the right combination to get how you're getting it. Can you send me your stuff? And he was more than happy to say, hey, I have this. You can get it on Plugin Alliance, a little plug for them. And while I'm at it, I want to take a shout out for my friend Mark, who is running Canary Cables. I'm an endorsee. I have 2 of their cables. They're fantastic. I'm hoping to get more. Hopefully Canary will be the name at this point. They're going to be growing in the near future, so need to keep in mind that. But anyways, I have quite a few of the Plugin Alliance things, and the Brainworks stuff in particular is fantastic. Highly endorse it for all of you people out there. It got me what I needed from him. In addition, on the kick, I'm using I'm also using the UAD Neve 1073 Legacy, just to get me a little bit of a bigger punch on the kick drum, because this is a busy track, so need as much as I can. Other instruments on here are the Alex Lifeson chord is this ES235 that I got from Guitar Center. You can hear it's fairly clean. There's just a little bit of modulation on it. I may change this, but right now it's this. I'm using the Strandberg. The Strandberg on the main track. The Strandberg before the pickup change. It had a sewer, I think like an aftermarket sewer pickup for the bridge, which, I mean, I'm pretty happy with the DiMarzio I dropped in there. I'm just disappointed that I didn't know it was a sewer pickup. But I'm using the RK5 through. I'm using the Strandberg through the Richie Kotzen fly rig. All the stuff, all the guitars on here were recorded using the RK5 Mark II fly rig by TC Electronics. Or no, Tech 21. Is it? Tech 21. Same people that do the Sans Amp. Fantastic little pedal. It's about a couple $100 and it's just amazing. It has an unbalanced out for your amp, or for like, and I know Richie has only 2 of these on stage that he uses. He uses two of them and runs them out to as in, I think, an A-B. He selects between the two and runs them out to power amps on stage. So he's running exclusively on this stuff through power amps and tiny little 12-inch 112 cabinets, and then takes the it's got an XLR out, balanced out, that goes to the house, and that's how I'm running, is the balanced XLR out into the workstation. But it sounds pretty fantastic too. So I think on this I have a little bit of delay, I have a little bit of reverb. I'm using the Renaissance Axe. This is a Waves plugin. I'm using that just as a slight compression. And that's this. So it doesn't take much to get a really great guitar sound. Oi, Mariangela. So then there's this really cool synth, the Absinthe 5. It's old already, and it's a thing that's part of the Native Instruments Complete Pack. And it's just enough to fill in the sound. Finally, because there's very little like keyboard on here. So there's the new IK Multimedia Hammond, which sounds incredible. And I think that I don't mind this sound. I think it fits very well with the guitar. It's not so deep purpley. Oh no, there is a another synth here. This is the Hexaract. This is this thing. Oh, what happened? Oh, okay. I wanted something different than a normal guitar solo, so I put in a bass solo. Anyway, so that's how the track is laid out. Lots of stuff. The final tour of my of material is this humble piece. It's right now it's very much a work in progress, but because I just started working on this on Friday night, but I've got this idea of making it a little bit more eclectic. Oh. So it's just a at the moment it's just this which is a C minor but just a C minor 4. But what I started with was this, like C minor fourth down to a being augmented. No, that's a fourth. A B flat 4. So C minor 4, B flat 4. Now, but I'm thinking is this. So what I'm doing is like it's G major, like a flatted 6th or a sharp 5th. And a 7th. So it's like it'll go the thumb descends while the bass while the left hand is like I can go. So if those were to go together, I have to do some editing here because I don't want to have to replay it. As you can see, I'm using Synthology's Ivory for this. So so like doom doom. Ah, dang it. There. So it's not, you know, purists to be saying, "Oh, you're not playing it. What's going on?" But sometimes when you're composing, when I'm composing, I'd much rather do it this way. So I can fix it in one spot. I can then copy and paste. So this is just one segment, but it's kind of shows you the thought processes. So let's go back. And you can take a look at this. Now, I do have, this is the tempo track. So I've set it to a fairly conservative 86 beats per minute for now. And I'm, and it's, right now it's sitting at 14.8, which is the number of, the meter, the count of the measure, how many beats per measure. So it's, let's, okay. You can see it gives a, it's got a lot of opportunity for interesting motion. It's a little bit like jiggity jaggedy, I guess. I don't know. It's kind of like got a sort of a rickety offbeat, which is interesting. So it's some of the chords I think are a little jazzier because I'm doing that descending line against the bass line. So there's some interesting guitar lines that can go over the top of it. I am planning on making it like go a little bit faster. I'm planning on adding some stuff to make it a little bit faster, more aggressive. Think of it can be, I can take it to like a Steely Dan sort of way, or I can go sort of a Cogs and Cogs kind of direction, like Gentle Giant. I can do both. So I really want to make this the if it's going to be done in time for the new album, then it's going to be there really isn't anything that's like a technical progressive or technical musician piece on the album so far. There's stuff that's fast, like, you know, this riffy stuff that's fast. But nothing that's, you know, like nothing that's sort of got the Zappa-esque things like. I love that. Another version of the F sharp 7 sus4. So nothing that's got any kind of true weirdness to it, except for the new standard tuning stuff with the Epiphone. But I want to make this into something that's a lot more complex. Anyways, we are getting close to the end of my time here. I think we've definitely gone past my hour. I appreciate that you're still around. Thank you. And I'm going to let you go. Go have a beautiful rest of your day. It's going to be 88 hot, dry degrees here, which I think translates to 33 Celsius. We're just starting to get into the summer heat, and it can get up over 100 pretty easily. In fact, it's supposed to get up over 100 on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So, you know, keep us in your thoughts. We'll be trying our best to stay cool, and you stay healthy. Make sure that you keep yourselves and all around you healthy. Try and wear a mask when you go out, not just for yourself, not just to keep you healthy, but to help keep everybody else healthy, since we all know that this is something that can be passed around. If you aren't sick, you may be carrying it and passing it around again. And just be judicious. Take care of yourselves, and have a happy time. Want to see you back here again. Love you all. Have a great rest of your day. Take care.